clues.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Fortunately, it's two. He's trying to find Juno. And I'll tell you what, that ending to that game I thought was incredible. You really see some Vader in his classic manipulative moments. You see Episode 5 Vader in all his glory. Manipulating Starkiller, manipulating all these things. He's really menacing.
Yeah.
He's a scary guy.
Well, we can jump there pretty quick. It doesn't take much to really fill in that in between there and there.
Yeah, regrettably, because the game was short and
No.
some parts of the narrative, in that game, I think, you're kind of all over the place. You see Vader. I mean, you of course see Vader. But you see Yoda. Yoda has a very small role.
I was kind of that made me upset. Like Dagobah, we landed at Dagobah, and I jumped out. I grabbed some holocrons, like 6 of them, running through this minute-long section at most. And I get to Yoda guarding the cave of evil.
Yeah.
And then there's a cutscene, and I was waiting to fight someone in the cave.
Yeah.
How Luke fought Vader in there, and then there's himself.
Yeah, Yoda doesn't provide a lot of direction for Starkiller. I mean, no. I don't think it's bad to have Yoda in a game. I thought it was fine. I'm not bothered by it at all. I wish they would have done more with him though.
I mean, Yoda and Boba Fett both, they're in the game, but the only really times you see him is from the trailers that were released before the game. They have really no role to play.
Yeah, not in the game.
No.
Like I said, the graphic novel really fills in what Boba Fett did.
Yeah.
Obviously
you see more of what he did.
Obviously, Hayden penned it that way. It's a multimedia franchise. It's like Shadow's Empire. To get the story, to get the whole story,
to get the full story, you need
gotta
to
get
see all three or read all three.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, when it comes to the actual story of the game, when they're thrown in there, and you're not expected to read the graphic novel if you play the game. It should be a complete story.
It adds more to it, but I mean the game is based on Starkiller. Yeah. So I mean you're not really missing anything.
I mean, was Yoda essential to that plot? I mean, you could have Coda could have given the advice he gave.
Something lost. Yeah. I mean,
it's cool to see Yoda, but how many Jedi in the expanded universe are going to know that Yoda is on Dagobah? I mean,
it hasn't explained how, Starkiller got there. Maybe I think Coda, he made it seem like when Coda was talking about meditating on Dagobah. First of all, do people go to Dagobah to meditate regularly? I don't think so. I think maybe Coda kind of knew about Yoda being there.
Well, he said about the Force of Kashyyyk, and he says the cave of Dagobah.
Meditating in the caves of Dagobah,
and then Starkiller's like, what? And he's like. Never mind, or whatever.
He brushed it off.
I
think he was just kind of indirectly trying to get Starkiller to go there. And Yoda, I'm glad that he didn't have a huge part in helping. I just think that'd be too perfect. It'd be too, what's it called, Eric? If they would have had Yoda fit perfectly into the story, have Starkiller.
Have him come out and start fighting with Coda and the Starkiller or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, I think that would have been, I would have liked it all. I liked how his role was really small and brief. You know what I mean? But I just...
I kind of agree with you, but I kind of don't. I mean, if you're going to bring in a character of that magnitude,
especially
don't have him say a few lines and then, you walk into a cave and you come out. He needs to have some kind of role to play, I think. I think it would have been cool to have Yoda, help him through that, that hump of am I a clone or am I not? Yoda could have gotten to the point where he's like, it doesn't matter if you are or not. You're you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I guess what I meant to say is, I liked his role very brief. But I wish they would have done more with that brief role.
Yeah.
I wish he would have said more. You know what I mean?
His role should have been brief, but I felt like it was too brief in this game.
Should have been more
the game was too brief.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Overall, the game is way
do you guys
short.
think he should have been more of when Luke comes, how he kind of trains Luke and
helps that's Luke why I did not. Himself? I did not want it to be like that.
You didn't want it to be like that.
No, I thought it would have been too. We all go to Dagobah. Yoda helps us get over a little bend, and we'll. You know what I mean?
See, I think there's only really 4 ways could have done it. I mean, there's he trains him like he does Luke. Yoda's not even in the game. He does what he did, or he leaves Dagobah and goes and fights.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really much other options. I don't think very much could have really worked. Especially considering, Yoda's on Dagobah, he doesn't really leave it, as far as we know. I don't think he leaves anywhere.
No, I mean, I guess
the cool thing about Empire Strikes Back Yoda is that Luke doesn't know that creature is Yoda, but whenever Yoda says something, powerful Jedi was he, and Luke's like, what's he talking about? Does this guy know more than he seems? It would have been kind of cool to play off that fact and have, Yoda actually helps Starkiller along his path.
Without saying
Jedi in a way that Starkiller thinks that he's doing it himself, but Yoda is really helping him. You know.
One thing I like is like, kind of like that. Like, Starkiller didn't know that was Yoda.
No, he doesn't know who it is. No, it is kind of when you really think about it. Doesn't that what's that Mad Jedi's name that was on Raxus Prime? Chasm Paratus.
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a junkyard Jedi Council in there?
Yeah, he had.
Didn't Starkiller like recognize the Jedi Council? Like, I'm pretty sure that he recognized some of the characters like as you're fighting,
like Yoda.
He didn't actually say Yoda, but I'm pretty sure that he knows that he knows that Shakti is part of the Jedi Council. He knows those Jedi. Why wouldn't he know Yoda?
He's like,
I mean, like,
Yoda.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if he knew him. I mean. Like Vader said, now you'll face Shakti. She is the last remaining survivor of the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
Like, he makes it sound like he's talking to Starkiller, like Starkiller didn't know that. But I know what you're saying. If you think that Starkiller has access to all the tools of the Empire, he has Proxy, who is just a huge dictionary of people.
Yeah.
You would think that like Starkiller would really know who all these people are. You figured he would know who the leading member of the Old Republic Jedi was.
But he doesn't, and that's cool.
Well, he doesn't really know who he is right now.
Yeah, well, Yoda, you're Yoda. That was stupid.
He's fighting his memories. He doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't know who he is.
He just has like all these random memories in his head. And he doesn't know if they're his, or if there is a clone, or he doesn't know what they are.
One thing I wish they would have done more is I felt like when I was reading all the interviews, Hayden Blackman and Torre, whatever that guy's name is, the guy with the hat.
Guy with the hat.
He became
Julio Torres or something.
He became the executive producer, I guess, after the game was completed and Hayden Blackman left. But I mean, they kind of made it sound like they did say that there's more story. I think they said there's more story cutscenes in this game than there were the last game, but that's not true. I mean, there was less. I mean, maybe. I guess the ratio of gameplay to story cutscenes. I guess the ratio. I guess they were saying there's more cutscenes over gameplay than the last game, but there's like 40 minutes worth of cutscenes in the last game, because I watch them all the time. And there isn't, there's like 20 minutes in this game, 15 minutes.
People that, they either love the game or they hate the game, everybody says the game's way too short.
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely love the game.
Well, they said the last one was way too short.
No, last one I thought was a good amount of time.
I mean, some people did say it was short. I didn't think it was short. I still don't think it was short. It's 7 to 10 hours.
And when you really consider, we only go to 2 planets. They use the same textures and 2 different, all that kind of stuff. I kind of felt like I needed to go some more. This is a galaxy far, far away. I don't want to go to just 2 planets.
Yeah, 2 planets I already know about. You know what I mean?
You go to Camino.
They definitely flesh out Camino, which is cool. It's great.
You see more of it, I guess, than you did like in the movies.
Yeah, you do, and
and then we've never seen a
Kate and the Moida. I think you've seen episode 3 for a second.
Oh, we saw it episode 3
for a second.
It's where Plo Koon was destroyed.
Okay.
Or killed.
When they're flying around, so you don't really see anything. Okay.
Yeah.
And we've seen the Nemodians. We know they have a.
Yeah, we've seen them before.
Disgusting creatures.
They did a really good job. I mean, the levels that are there are awesome.
Yeah.
But they're not enough.
I would have rather waited a year and play, like a little more story, a little more levels, a little more variety with the enemies.
Yeah, maybe some more enemies.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I
would have waited 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, but okay.
Even when I I got tired of seeing the robot with the shield all the time.
Jeez, yeah.
But it was kind of nice to. I had to change my my tactics because they switched.
What did you do again? I mean, you rip the shield off, and then what do you do?
I usually just rip the shield off real quick.
Well, with the one, the one had that carbonite that you spray with.
Yeah, but I use the same tactic for both.
I would rip off his shield, and then the carbonite guy, I would throw the carbonite back on him and freeze him, and then I either lightning him or force push him or slash
what would you do to get his energy down, his health down?
Well, I'd hit him with the thing and freeze him, and then I just do whatever. I didn't really have a tactic after that.
No, you rip the shield off and you hit him with his shield, but then you have to get his health down.
I would stay back and let him shoot a carbonite thing ball at me, and I'd throw that carbonite ball at him, and it would freeze him for a little bit.
For that and for the fire droid, all I did was just stand back and throw my lightsabers at him.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The fire guy
I did that.
I thought he was a little bit different to play.
But it got to the point where I was just doing that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always try to keep things fresh. I would always try to think of new ways to kill people.
Yeah, but they really only for each character there's only one quick time event to destroy them.
Yeah.
You know, in the first form, at least, it seemed like there were multiple ones for.
Yeah. Another thing is like the QuickTime events. I like them, and they're welcome back in this game for me. They're but I felt like there's only like 2 of them. You know what I mean?
You know, Starkiller was doing the same exact animation. 20 times in a game, I'm gonna notice.
You know how you can grab people by holding like the top 2 buttons. For PS3, it's triangle now, I think, and for 360.
Well, you can use square and X too.
Okay, yeah.
Or X and A, or yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same freaking thing, and I never did it again after I saw it a couple times.
I would do the square and X one on the PS3, which like you'd stab them through and like hit him or whatever, and
I would
toss
do it if I was near a ledge. That way, like if I had someone that takes a lot of like time to kill, I just throw them over the ledge and they're dead.
Yeah, I do that. I do that to the acolytes, the red guys all the time.
Those guys.
I hated those guys. And I didn't like.
Heck, all these Force users running around. Jeez.
Well, I mean, the acolytes, I believe, are supposed to be. The acolytes are clones of Starkiller.
That's what I thought too.
And the Saber Guards are the other kind of clones. Because when you see them later in the game, during the Vader battle, they have the same animations.
Now their armor, like it reminded me of like Mandalorian or like Sith armor or something like that.
Yeah, it did kind of look. Well, I mean,
at first I thought it was like. At first when they came on board, because I think at first time you saw them was Salvation. Yeah. I thought they were Sith.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me of like the armor that the Sith wore on KOTOR, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, that, and they reminded me of the Royal Guard that Palpatine has, the Red Guard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is what the Mandalorians on KOTOR are based off of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's wrap up here about the story of the Force Unleashed 2, like towards the end. All right, you make your way through Camino. You're with the Rebel Alliance.
Not really.
You're with them, but you're there for your own mission, to find Juno.
I mean, you've helped the Rebel Alliance get there, but yeah, your whole goal is just to find Juno. You're not even helping them try to fight this war against the Imperials.
Yeah. You're there to find Juno, and there's this great segment, when you get to Vader. It really reminds me when you're on, Cloud City in Episode 5, and
Luke's
Vader's
walking around.
Yeah, Luke's walking around, Vader's just stalking them. Comes out, comes out of nowhere. That's what he does in this game, and he does it. He does it better in this game than I think he did in Episode 5. How's he conceal that breathing though? I mean, obviously he can do it with the Force. It's kind of funny to think about. Vader sitting there hiding behind.
Well, I mean,
Vader's like, "Is that you, Vader?" He's like trying to cover his mouth.
Those buttons have to do something. They're probably having volume control.
Yeah, it's probably volume control.
Well, when you get closer, you still hear him though.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, a little breathing.
What's that?
Maybe he's holding his breath.
Makes sounds.
Silver said you can't slow it down though, remember?
Yeah.
But that part I thought was unbelievable. I say unbelievable about these guys, but that part was unbelievable. Story wise,
it's okay.
I thought this, like for me, I thought the gameplay improved a lot. I thought it was short. I thought the story was kind of a little bit all over the place in the beginning. It wasn't as focused as it was in the first game. But then I got to the end, and I saw classic Vader hunting, stalking, manipulating, and it was great. I loved it. You get to see a very emotional Starkiller. You know what I mean? And think about it. This Vader knows how people are. When it comes to like what they'll do to save someone they love. This is Anakin in a suit here. He knows what he did for Padme. And he's using it. I mean, he's a Sith now. He's using that against Starkiller, for service to the Sith, service to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And if Starkiller is a clone, then that means that the love that he has for Juno isn't real, and Vader might take offense to that. Like, I know what real love is. This is, I am the product of what real love does to people. Your love isn't even real. That's what he even says it. Like, your feelings for her aren't real.
Well, if he was a clone, that.
If Starkiller is a clone, then I think Vader would take a lot of offense to the fact that. I know what it takes to love somebody.
Yeah, and another thing about Sam Witwer, the likeness and voice of Starkiller, Chad Vader. I think he's the guy who played Darth Vader's voice.
He did a lot better job this time around.
The performances were great.
Was that the same guy from the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The performances were great. When I hear those two, like even Coda and Starkiller, their little banter back and forth, it's pretty comedic, just like the first game, and I liked it. That was realistic, like the first game they talk about him being passed out in the cargo hold. I felt that. Those characters, those character moments, I thought they were real.
Mm-hmm.
When I see Vader, manipulating Starkiller and Starkiller doing anything he can to save Juno, and Vader just taking advantage of that. I believed it so much. I felt for Starkiller and I felt for Vader. I felt for Anakin in Episode 3. And
it brought me back. I loved it so much, you know. And that duel, like the duel, like in combination of